there's congestion. There's congestion in the right brain, or the left brain. I'm sorry, because it switches polarity. There's congestion in the left brain, in the logic and the reasoning and the. That doesn't mean that you're not logical or or analytical. In fact, you are very analytical, and you are very you're a bright person. So when there's congestion on one side, there's also hold up on the creative side, the free, the flow of creativity. And so what this tells us is that you need to be grounded. You don't want to be here for. You're always it's so easy to be out of your body, and that's what's causing this congestion. And and the only thing that brings you back into the body, we're being told, is work or something that you have to focus, and that causes stress. So really understand about grounding, breathing, connecting to the center of the earth, and connecting to the light, expanding. And whatever you do, stay present. Whatever you're doing, stay as present as you can. Focus on the breath, and be aware of what you are doing, and your physical body, emotional body, your mental body, and so on and so forth. Okay, this is from Tawn, and she says, new home in my future, thank you. We all have a new home. I mean, the first thing that came is, we all have a new home in our future. There's no such thing as a new home. We're always home. And that's what you need to realize. That's part of being grounded, to realize to be here and now. And yet, the answer is yes. I don't want to put the answer off, but the answer is yes. But first, you need to appreciate the home you're in, this physical body that you're in, and and when you're and when we say grounded, doesn't mean you're stuck, in the lower bodies. It means you're aware, you're here, you're present, and you can expand. And so you're aware of your spiritual as well as your personality side and all what's going on. You are the witness. So start appreciating your physical home, who you are, everything, and appreciating being here, this wonderful, wonderful life. And then yes is the answer. And again, these billets are for all of us. Okay, because we are one and united. Okay, this is. Okay, there's still something going on about something in the past that is affecting your present. Of course, that's very logical, but that you're hanging on to the past. And it's so easy to say, let go, let go, let God, trust in God. But when you're in it, it's so difficult to have the perspective. So we see it right in the bottom of the esophagus, and so it's affecting your digestion and the navel chakra. So it's affecting the way you're organized and systems and so on and so forth. And it's affecting the thinking mind. It's affecting the will body especially. Remember, we all have free will. And so it is your free will to really not be afraid to see what is going on that's affecting you from the past. And it's and the will has a lot to do. It's so connected to the psyche, to the soul, and the heart, and the psychic energy. So you're very psychic, but something is clogging up, clouding up some of your psychic ability and the higher intuition, the connection to the higher intuition. So at the same time, trust your intuition, but really start to work at being present. Again, another person, being present and clearing the thinking mind, doing really understanding the power of the Rainbow Bridge meditation and how that can help you. Good morning. What should I be focusing on at this time in my spiritual journey? Sending you love, Stephanie. And Stephanie, that is the answer. So, very, you're very smart, but something is affecting your digestion, the will body, the thinking mind. Okay. So everyone be present. Use your sense of humor. You have a beautiful sense of humor, gift of the gab. Don't take life so seriously, and trust God. You have a lot of work to do in this lifetime, as do we all, but something about trusting God, truly trusting God. Yes, please include Diane Camillo for reading and continued healing prayers for my grandson, Angelo Sandoval. Thank you, everyone, and God bless Angelo. Okay, Diane. Trust God. Trust God, your prayers are answered. And excuse me. Spread the love, spread the joy. You have so much of that in you, and just, relax with who you are. Be your authentic self. Don't be afraid to show who you are, and relax about who you are, and there's a joy in you that's just waiting to be expressed, and and the beauty all right there. Is AI, artificial intelligence, the natural evolution of alchemy? I wouldn't call it natural, but it is, yes, a huge part of our evolution. And there's so much to this artificial intelligence, and it's not all bad and it's not all good. So, thank you. Love, Daniel A. Okay, Daniel. Don't be afraid to show who you truly are. This great joy and thankful being, and with a great sense of humor, and be your authentic self. That's the message. Oh, and another thing is, remember, everything is in God's hands. Sometimes we human beings think that we are ruining the world, and so on and so forth, and we have all this power to destroy. What about all this power to manifest great things and build great things? You see, because this is all part of God. And so, oh, okay. Oh, what am I? Okay. All right. One thing that we will talk about at the retreat, and that's really important, is for all of us to realize that, yes, we're all, in a way, working toward self-realization, this ascension, and so on and so forth. All of us have experienced initiations, 1 or 2 or 3, it can go on, infinite. But all of us have experienced initiations, either in this life or the next life or the past life. And one thing we have to be very careful about is that our ego, that we don't think, that we're at a certain point, and wow, we know more than the common masses, and maybe we do, but the common masses also has that spiritual evolution too, and that so we start, even if we do our meditation every day, but we start building this spiritual, what do you call it, where you're thinking you're better than, elitism, spiritual elitism. And that is one of the greatest downfall that separates us from humanity. And that is where a lot of these great leaders had their downfall, was through this spiritual elitism, that, I do my practice, I've done all this, I know all this, I've experienced all this, I've been in the white light and experienced this in the, and I've gone beyond, I've talked to the angels, I do that, so on and so forth. It doesn't make us, or you or me or anyone, any better than anyone else who can't really say they've talked to angels, or they've experienced these great initiations. We are equal in God's eyes and in God's sight. We're all on an evolutionary path and on a journey, and we're all evolving spiritually. And this is something every single one of us has to be careful of, and thinking my way is better, or I've had this experience, so that makes me aware or self-realize. Okie dokie. Oh, now for this one person, why we had all of that is that you're growing, and it can be a fast growth, and so just be careful of the pitfalls. Watch the ego. Watch, do watch the ego, and be present. Good morning. Being successful in everyday task. Thank you, Danya. So that was for, thank you, Danya, because this is for everyone, and she was the one who brought it in. First thing, breathe. Something with your hormones or stress or something that is kind of throwing your system off because of the stress. And so take salt baths, or Epsom salt bath, or whatever it takes to relax you. Don't be so hard on yourself and on others. Something your guides say, watch the blame. And it's amazing how so many people blame themselves or others. It doesn't matter, because it's always hits ourselves. And the damage it does to the nervous system, and guilt and shame and all of those, the damage it does to the nervous system as well as to the organs and so on and so forth. So know that you are so loved. Of course God loves us all, and the angels and our guides and our all our spiritual helpers, but the people around you really love and support you, and it's important you believe this. And whether you do or not is up to you, but it's there's a lot, again, belief and faith will help de-stress, but a lot of stress. SOL with hearts. Oh, does that make sense? Yeah, and belief and faith, that's a biggie. Okay. We see a beautiful soul and much work to do, but one step at a time. And this is, again, for everyone. Sometimes we try and do too much at one time. So your guides are saying, guidance is saying, don't be fooled by all that glitters. Really do your homework, but don't be fooled by all that glitters. That sounds like a great thing, great idea, or I should be doing this. Then the next thing comes up and says, oh, I should be doing that. Then your attention, as we know, when our attention is divided, it's scattered, and we lose the power. So really start to focus on one thing at a time, and that's all you can do, is focus at one thing at a time. And yes, you have a lot to do in this world, in this lifetime, and yes, in a sense, our lifetime is on this planet, the one light is just a twinkle in God's eye, and just even in your lifeline. But slow down. There might be something in your subconscious that thinks you're not going to live long or have enough time to accomplish everything. But you will, just one step at a time. And you'd be surprised what is in store for you. Oh, this is Sai. Appreciating the serendipity in life. Yes, that's part of the manifesting, ability to manifest. Great. Okay, Sai. Okay, something about your energy level. You get real energetic, boom, 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 then all of a sudden you're exhausted. So it's being organized in a sense that you might feel you are organized, but being organized in a way that your energy isn't all spent at once. Like, someone running a race, and they run as fast as they can in the beginning, and then they have nothing left at the end. So really pace yourself, in other words. And you don't have to be the first one out of the starting gate. It's it's a long road, it's a long journey in some sense. So you have to learn to, or not you have to learn, you know how already, but do pace yourself so that you have the energy, in the long run. Enjoy, Reverend Joseph. So you need to, because you have so much on your plate, so you don't get exhausted. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, and another thing, don't worry. You worry too much about this and that. All is well. And this one too, why we mention worry, because these two are connected with worry, something to do with worry. So trust God, and when you say I leave it in God's hands, really leave it in God's hands. And as I'm told a lot, don't tell God what to do. So and trust, and everything that happens for a reason, happens for a purpose. No, this is really important to really take to heart, because it will help alleviate the worries. And that's this person. Know that everything is for a purpose, and know and understand, and really take that to heart. You know it mentally, but it needs to be taken deeper. And a lot of talent, and people with lots of talent, sometimes jack of all trades, they very creative, can spend their energy in so many different directions. So focus. Again, you two need to really pace yourself, and so that you don't expend everything at the starting gate and get excited, and then it starts to dwindle. And trust your intuition. This is for Joseph and this person. Trust your intuition. You have very high intuition. Preparing. Okay. Love Lotus.